In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. Long before the final messenger was born, the Cabba already stood in Mecca as a sacred house built by Ibrahim and Ishmael. The tribes of Arabia honored it, traveled to it, and held it in awe, even though many had fallen into idol worship. Mecca was not a city of kings or armies, yet the house at its center carried a weight that no empire could ignore. Far to the south, in Yemen, there ruled a powerful man named Abraha al-Ashram. He was a Christian governor under the Abyssinian kingdom and commanded a strong army. Seeing how the Arabs journeyed every year to Mecca and how their hearts were tied to the Cabba, Abraha desired to redirect that devotion. He ordered the construction of a magnificent cathedral in Sana'a, adorned with stone, gold, and towering columns, hoping it would draw the Arabs away from the Cabba and toward his rule. But the Arabs did not abandon Mecca. Their loyalty to the Cabba remained firm. When news reached Abraha that one of the Arabs had insulted and defiled his cathedral, his pride turned to rage. He swore an oath that he would march to Mecca and destroy the Cabba itself so that no one would ever turn to it again. Abraha gathered a vast army and set out northward across the desert. At the front of his forces were great war elephants, creatures unknown and terrifying to the Arabs. The largest of them was named Mahmud. As the army advanced, tribes attempted to resist but were crushed. Towns submitted, and fear spread across the land. News of the approaching army reached Mecca, and the people knew they had no power to stop it. When Abraha's army camped near the city, his men seized camels belonging to the Quraysh, including 200 that belonged to Abdul Mutalib, the respected elder and leader of the tribe. Abdul Mutalib went to meet Abraha, tall and dignified, his white beard flowing, his presence commanding respect even among kings. Abraha was struck by his appearance and invited him to speak. To Abraha's surprise, Abdul Mutalib asked only for his camels to be returned. Abraha mocked him, saying that he had expected him to plead for the Cabba instead. Calmly and without fear, Abdul Mutalib replied that he was the owner of the camels and that the house had an owner who would protect it. His camels were returned, and he left, placing his trust entirely in Allah. The people of Mecca did not prepare for battle. They knew that no army could stand against elephants and steel. Instead, they left the city and sought refuge in the surrounding mountains. Abdul Mutalib stood at the Cabba, holding its door, praying to Allah to protect his house, then departed with the others, leaving the Cabba alone beneath the sky. At dawn, Abraha gave the command to advance. The army prepared to move, and Mahmud was directed toward the Cabba. Yet the elephant refused. It knelt upon the ground and would not rise. When it was turned to Yemen or Syria, it stood and walked easily. But when it was turned to Mecca, it again knelt and would not move. Confusion spread through the ranks. Then the sky darkened. From the horizon came flocks of birds, small and swift, arriving in groups upon groups. Each bird carried tiny stones in its beak and claws. They descended upon Abraha's army, releasing the stones upon the soldiers. Wherever the stones struck, flesh was torn and bodies fell. Panic consumed the army. Men fled in terror, trampling one another, while the birds continued their assault. Abraha himself was struck. His army was destroyed, not by swords or arrows, but by the command of Allah. Wounded and broken, Abraha fled back toward Yemen, his body decaying as he traveled,
until he died in humiliation and pain. When the people of Quraysh returned to Mecca, they found the Cabba untouched, standing firm as it had always stood. The desert was silent again. The power of Allah had been made clear to all Arabia. The house had been protected without a single human hand raised in its defense. That year came to be known as the Year of the Elephant. It was the year in which Allah showed His might and preserved His sacred house. And in that very same year, in the city of Mecca, a child was born, who one day would be the final messenger of Allah, a mercy to all of mankind.